As we've watched these street protests night after night and the continued uprising against systemic racism and police brutality, it's hard not to keep thinking about something that I've seen on a bunch of protest signs in many different cities. Imagine all the many terrible things that have happened that just weren't caught on camera. Particularly when we see disturbing stories like what just happened in Wilmington, North Carolina, which we only know about basically through sheer fluke, because a sergeant conducting an audit stumbled onto a video that had been accidentally recorded by a Wilmington police officer, and the police department, to its credit, told the public what they found. In the video, 3 longtime veteran Wilmington officers who've been on the job since the late 1990s, think about that, decades on the force, are heard saying some truly vile and racist things, with one of them flat out calling for a race war. This is a police officer who's been in there for decades. Quote, "We're just going to go out and start slaughtering them effing N-words. I can't wait. God, I can't wait." The officer adding that a civil war is needed to, quote, and I quote him here, "wipe them off the effing map. That'll put them back about 4 or 5 generations." All 3 officers have now been fired for misconduct. The city's new police chief, Donnie Williams, making the announcement yesterday.
When I first learned of these conversations, I was shocked, saddened, and disgusted. There is no place for this behavior in our agency or our city, and it will not be tolerated.
That was his first day on the job, one of his first actions as a head of police in that town. Now, there are so many ways this is disturbing, they're basically uncountable, but most striking to me is the resonance and meaning of these violent racist words in this particular place, Wilmington, North Carolina. It's a city that is in many ways a perfect representation of the trajectory of racial injustice in America. Because back in the late 1800s, after the Civil War and in Reconstruction, Wilmington was a thriving, fairly well-integrated town racially. That was thanks to the post-Civil War project of Reconstruction, which used the federal government to actively seek to integrate freemen and women as full citizens, to give them rights and more. And then came what was arguably the only pure coup d'etat in U.S. history, when a white supremacist mob violently wrenched power, overthrowing the city government, killing at least 60 African Americans, slaughtering them, wrenching power back with terrorist, white supremacist, fascist violence to regain white supremacy, a key moment in the destruction of this nation's project of racial equality and reconstruction. To the point where in 20 Wilmington police officers are fantasizing about a race war where they could shoot black people that would put black Americans back about 4
I want to give all the praises and the honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem, Racha HaKodash, and double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone. Also, as I say, shalom to the other elders, you Akim, you few sisters and you followers of the truth. And let me say shalom to the elect. This video was inspired and sent to me by the brother who sends me videos time to time. Screen name Judah 1969. Sometimes I look at the videos and I may not, and then sometimes I do. It depends on what the spirit goes into. So anyway, this is a video as you saw in the intro. That's why I put it in there. There's no secret to what I'm saying, okay, or understanding of what I'm saying, because there's a police chief or commissioner, whoever he is, black commissioner, says we will not have this kind of behavior. It is not tolerated, right? And this is where I'm going at with that, because this is an ongoing form of a doctrine that, there's peace and equality. Jeremiah 8:11 says, they have healed the hurt of the daughter of my people, saying peace, peace, when there is no peace. Jake will never see, man. But as long as you have hope, and they know that you Israelites, you blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, they know you have hope. You always had that form of hope, that you've been taken with craftiness and corruption in your hope and your belief. Half of you don't even believe in the scriptures now that the truth is out. So, what I got to say about it? If you jakes don't wake up, then this is what you get. If you keep believing in this systematic destruction, just trying to say it right, because you can't even do a video like this without, you know, having an issue with hate speech, right? So it's what it is. You can't see the truth now, then you won't see it. What we say is that what you see here is not likely to ever go away. In fact, it won't. And even when the Lord returns, it won't, because you're going to have a transference of rulership, and it's going to be a different ball game, so to speak. So I don't really have to say much on it. It's just the fact that you got Jesse Jackson who set up, Al Sharpton, and all these various other black leaders, you know, corrupt leaders who are set up to help you be more comfortable in your situation. And they'll say, we shall overcome, we shall march. Here in 2021, you haven't seen that go away? Or you claim the biggest lie is that is hidden, you know? And half of you people know it too, man. Isaiah 13 and 14. And it shall be as a chase roe, confusion, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. Let me go to Isaiah 13 and 12. I will make man more precious than fine gold, even a man that than the golden wedge of Ophir. Okay, therefore I will shake the heavens and the earth, and shall remove out of her place in the wrath of the Lord of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger. And it shall be as a chase roe that no sheep that as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people, and flee everyone to his own country. And every one that is found shall be thrust through, and every one that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Right? Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished. So this man said in the interview, I guess the news anchorman, he said that in 1898 everything was peaceful, blacks got along, we was integrated. I don't know where these people have been living at, man. Whatever they tell you in the news, or, you know, especially with history, the history was a lie in itself. You have to know that even though we were so-called integrating and supposedly being freed to some degree, you have to know that we still wasn't treated nice. We're so-called free today in 2020, so-called, and we still ain't treated nice. So you mean to tell me 200 years ago we were still being treated nice? I don't buy that. I don't buy that at all. 150 years ago we've been being treated nice. Yeah, I don't buy that. You know, even when you have what you call the sharecropping, and the men were freed from slaves, where did they go? The families, they went back to their slave owners, right? The majority of them went back, and some of them wanted to make their way up north to a better life. So I'm not buying that. Anyway, let's go to Obadiah 1 and 10. Because of let me see. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. This is going to the story of Jacob and Esau, right? And everybody don't know who Esau is? Look it up. Right? The rulers of darkness. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Right? Let's go to Joel 3 and 3. It says, they have cast lots for my people. This whole third chapter is a good chapter in the future events. And they have cast lots for my people, and given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. Right? So I don't have to say much on this topic. I just wanted to bring this home to the fact that if you are expecting a big change for the better, and you're going to be free, and you're going to, which is so-called free, but you're not going to have racism. And to you Christians who believe in God, you ought to know that God promotes racism. He pushes racism. It's always been about racism. First of all, the word racism comes from race or racist, like a race, a gene, a genetic, right? That's all race means. Spermia, seed, like a black race, a white race, a Asian race. It's a nationality, a seed of a nationality, and he chose the biblical Israelites. So that's racist. I mean, this term was never used until the coming of age of this era. I mean, it was never really used, because it was always known who the biblical Israelites were, and that the Lord, they were the Most High's chosen people. So they knew what, if you want to call it racist, being racist was. So you have to ask yourself why they have such hatred. It's biblical. And then here's the biggest issue that I want to bring up, is the fact that because of the conditioning, because of the root of us being, people being brought to a land and scattered throughout the world, and a heritage is taken, what do you think is going to happen to these people generation after generation after generation? You think they're going to stand up and be the greatest walking people on the planet? They're going to be civil? When you bring them up in ghettos and you bring them up poor, you pump them with all this stuff that they're eating and everything that they're ingesting and taking in, and most importantly, the oppression leading to depression, and you hitting this over and over, and you put them in these jailhouse schools where they have to use a metal detector to get in. This is the creating of an animal. And then they come and say, these people are animals. Look how they behave. Well, how was that started? Was it the pushing of the drugs into the community? Was it the breaking up of the homes? Right? Was it the poverty? Last hired, first fired. Poverty will do some crazy things to people's mind. Okay? And you do that systematically over generation to generation, you're going to have issues. And this is why it's called systemic racism. That's all I have on that. Shalom.